My name is Darien Schmitts. I'm an applied science student. I'm doing pre-pharmacy right now, and I plan on going to pharmacy school in the future. Over the last couple months, I found out that I was epileptic just because I was experiencing some memory loss, and I went to a neurologist in the cities. It's mainly caused by neurons not firing right in my frontal lobe, which is responsible for like mood, memory, drive, and then just a couple other things. So there's 3 different types of seizures. There's absent seizures, there's the grand mal seizures, and then there's the one that I can never remember, but I've never experienced those. Grand mal is the best description for it, where you actually have like the muscle contractions and you end up falling on the ground and have like what people typically think of for a seizure. The ones that I have are the absent seizures, which is essentially I forget periods of time. I don't remember like a minute to like 30 seconds. So basically that time is gone from my brain. When I went to the neurological center in the cities, they had to run a bunch of tests. They had to figure out if I also had a tumor in my brain, which was the first idea that they were having. So that's why I had to have the MRI done. So they just kind of tested my brain, see if there's any obstructions in the area, but that ended up being entirely clean. But every time I have an appointment there, it's usually spread out like 2 to 3 weeks, has been for like the last couple months. They usually run a sleep-deprived EEG, that electroencephalogram, and then each time I have to stay up all night just so they can get me at like my least optimal condition, and then I'll have the most seizures in that time so they can see how many would occur. And each time I tend to have, they said, abnormalities in my brain waves. My triggers that I have for what makes it worse, what makes it better, is mood, stress, and then lack of sleep. So if I ever get mad, get upset about anything, or if I get sad, then I tend to forget more. As it progressed, I got medication that causes me to have insomnia, as well as like sporadic depression, which are both 2 things that are my triggers. In school, I stressed about a quiz really bad, and I couldn't quite function very well when I was taking it. And I ended up forgetting entirely about it, and then I got it back and I failed that quiz, and I only knew I took it just by my handwriting. I also had an argument with my ex-girlfriend one time, and halfway through it I forgot the entire beginning of it. Usually I just wake up and go through the normal motions I would have done before, but it's hard to remember what's happened in the past, so usually I'll like go to do the same thing that I did a little while ago. So like making breakfast, I eat breakfast right after that, and I have to kind of remember that I ate breakfast. I just usually remember by like the taste in my mouth, or I'm full. So in the foreseeable future, they're just gonna keep increasing the dose on my medication. I started off at like 25 milligrams a day, and then I went to 50, and then they put me up to 100, 200, 300, and I just had 400 a day, and I moved up to 600 this week. So in the foreseeable future, they just want to have increased until hopefully everything gets squared away, but that's just hopeful. Maybe it won't do anything, and then I have to change medications in hopes to get more positive results. The scariest thing for me is that I kind of like forget my entire life. So each time I have like an encounter with anybody, anything like that, I just forget it. And so I just try to deal with it the best I can, try not to get mad, try not to do anything wrong, and then it tends to work in my favor in a lot of situations. But if I do end up getting mad, it's not the end of the world because I'll forget it anyways. In the future, hopefully they make something that could treat this, but it's really tricky for anything dealing with the brain just because it's kind of vital for life, and a lot of stuff in that area, if you do anything wrong, it's going to cause permanent damage. So hopefully they make something, but I don't know.